All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second game of the third round here on the NovaWar Says tournament between Hype and Unusual Suck. Adam?
Yes.
Just get right into the NovaWar Says. What is it going to be?
All right. Well, first of all, Mr. MaximusBlack, hit me up with the sound of Technical Alpha. Keep
there we go.
There we go. Figure that shit out. All right, so... Unusual Suck down here in the bottom. We are looking at public transit.
Yep.
Player can defend main and expansions placed at mineral patches. I had to specify that because certain players sometimes will like build, like last tournament they were building random hatcheries and being like, I'm defending. Just built a random hatchery somewhere. So it can defend the main and expansions placed at mineral patches, but any aggressive attacks must be done via Nidus network only.
Okay.
Alright, and the Protoss player Hype has Shields Up.
Yep.
Which is a returning one from last tournament.
Yep.
Which is player can defend, but aggressive attacks can only happen once they have +3 plasma shields, the most used upgrade in all of StarCraft, obviously.
That's right. So, it's going to be an interesting game, and I think that this is going to work out in Unusual's, or Hype's favor, simply because Nidus is going to take a little while to get to, and so does obviously getting +3 shields. So I think by the time really a Nidus attack is going to happen, it might be just before the shields finish, but he'll have enough units and he's probably building up and saving up at home that he should be able to defend.
Yeah, he's not going to like rush +3 and not have any units in the meanwhile.
That's right. So I like to kind of give my prediction at the start of the game, but you never know. I mean, it's NovaWar Says and it's LAGTV, anything can happen.
Crazy things can happen.
Big shout out to our sponsors, JORD Woodwatch. Go pick up your father a JORD Woodwatch for Father's Day, 5% off. Link is underneath G2A.com. Treat yourself, 56% off if you pre-order Batman. Go do that. It's happening right now. And LootCrate, our technical alpha sponsor, 10% off by using the promo code BOWS. 10. 10.
That is 5 more than 5.
That is.
And 1 less than 11.
Okay, well, Unusual is just going to open up his expansion down here. He's got, you know, the spawning pool, gas, all that jazz. And Hype going to go ahead and grab pretty much a Nexus first. That's a fast Nexus.
That is a very fast Nexus. I mean, I guess for him, maybe he's thinking he needs so much gas that he's just going to expand right to the gate.
Yeah.
And also, what happened last tournament as well is a lot of players automatically just assume that most of the builds are going to be up against are not going to allow for really early attacks. Which wasn't necessarily true last tournament because of some of the Terran builds, but this tournament, even less so. Excuse me. Of an opportunity for a lot of rushing.
You know what we could do on an upcoming tournament? We could definitely do a When Cheese Fails, NovaWar Says, where we just pick the cheesiest builds that people have to do. So like rushing, cheesing, so that way we don't get the same shitty cheesy, like not leaving it up to the player and what they have to do, but kind of randomizing outrageous cheese that we would love to see, that we may have never seen before, or maybe, you know, some epic ones. Like, we could even do, like, the Niskel one where you have to cannon rush a wrong base first, you know what I mean? Like, if you know your opponent's down bottom right, you gotta put some cannons on a different area of the map before that. We can kind of bring back some of the best When Cheese Fails. I think it'd be a really cool idea.
Okay, yeah, it's possible.
Because when we give too much power to the players, they'll skimp it as much as they can to try and get a win, but if we are, you know, the master of ceremonies, then we can kind of say... Maybe,
what we could do is do a,
maybe we could do a MaximusBlack Says.
Or like a recreation, okay? So, we can say like the Niskel game, and we roll on who is going to play both players, and their goal is to try and recreate the game as best they can.
That'd be kind of cool too.
But then the cheeser has to, obviously who's failed, the cheeser has to try and win. This is a bit random. Actually, that's a terrible idea.
I was trying to back you up on that idea there.
No. I was
trying to be a friend.
No, I just thought about it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That's basically.
I'm gonna call you out.
Impossible.
It's unusual. All right, there's no hype.
It sucks unusually.
There's zero hype for that.
Oh, we can do a MaximusBlack says. I mean, if you want to come up with things too. I mean, I don't have. The next time.
And now, you know, I'm cheesy as fuck. So I mean, I could come up with the cheesiest.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, LAGTV could help me out with that.
And then when shit goes sideways, you can be the one that gets reamed for your wording.
There you go. I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right.
I'm diggity down.
Okay.
There it is, boys.
Next tournament.
MaximusBlack says. Boom. Say something. I know I will. All right, metabolic boost going down here for unusual, and we have the shields going already. So we've got he needs to get the +3 shields. In case you guys are just tuning in here on the stream, up here he has to get +3 shields before he can attack, and down here he has to attack only by using Nidus. So public transit, which absolutely sucks. I hate public transit. I remember back in the day when I used to take the bus. I don't know what it was, but I always attracted the most stinkiest motherfuckers ever.
Well, step 1, you were on the 20.
That's, well, yeah. I mean, I live in the hood.
Which was automatically, I mean, the 20 covered everything from Herring Cove,
it's ghetto.
Suburbia.
It's ghetto.
But before you get, especially if you're coming back in from the city, you have to pass through the ghetto.
Yeah, 50 block. You have to go
500
down.
block. You go up Rocking Stone.
Yeah, it was.
It's all of the bad shit before you get out of the.
The thing was, it wasn't a lot of young people. Like the young people were fine. They're like, you know, we all hate public transit together. It's just the older people. They just give zero fucks. They smell like ass. They go on there. I remember one time in particular, there was a guy. He was like bleeding from his hand, and he had a band-aid that barely covered his cut, and then he just took it off and stuck it like it was gum to the side of the chair. I'm like, are you serious? Can I not put my hand on this without getting, like, you know, some sort of disease? Yeah.
I think you just hit an age where you just stop caring.
Yeah.
Or an age and a tax bracket where you just stop caring. Yeah. It's a combination.
That's the worst. That's the worst combination right there. Yeah, age and tax bracket.
You just stop giving a fuck. So the first Nidus is en route, and there is an Overlord in position just off of the natural expansion.
Here we go, boys. Look, he's got an Overlord there in position, and he's got an Overlord up here in position, and maybe he's gonna try. He's only have one Nidus.
Oh, there's a cannon about to be placed right at the edges.
Oh fuck!
Here.
He's putting Niduses all over the place. Look at this. There it is, boys. There's the Nidus. We've got a warp in happening here. And I think he's probably going to have to just put Niduses out front here and just go up the middle, but that's going to be extremely hard to do.
That's a wall.
This is
a wall of death.
This is the wall.
That is a wall.
That's the wall, boys. That's the wall.
That is a well-defended piece of property right there.
+2 shields, going to be finishing up here, about 85% complete. So at this point, Hype is just holding on. He just needs to defend. And look, he's got information here. He knows that there's no third. He knows that his opponent is 2 base something. So it isn't out of the norm that he would put cannons here, thinking that it could be Mutas, it could be Nidus, it could be the last game that we had where it was drop-ins again with Banelings. There's a lot of things that he could be thinking, and I really like Hype's.
Just because, I mean,
his intuition.
He can't go anywhere anyway until it's +3.
That's right.
So why not spend some minerals on some cannons?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no downside to that. You might just as well do it. So. He's got his Nidus. This is technically yes.
Oh, it's a Nidus. I mean, he's attacking.
You can't always have a Nidus in the base of the guy. So
no, absolutely not.
This is fine.
I'm definitely okay with this.
I'm okay with it. He's gonna get wrecked.
If he tries to go up this ramp, he's gonna die a horrible, painful death.
Bad life choice.
Yeah, there's no way he's getting up. And he's got the sentry there. At this point, he could let half the units up.
Yeah.
And just tear a new asshole in them. The majority of them are roaches. 3 immortals in behind. I do believe he's got a mothership core. Yeah, so he can even get an overcharge off. The cannon's there. Only bad thing is his forge is there. And if he kills this forge, he's going to kill the upgrade. He's going to have to build another forge and restart this +3 upgrade, which takes a while. So that would be a pretty big hit. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually a pretty shitty time, or a pretty shitty place to put a forge, knowing that basically your entire attack is dependent on having +3 finish. All right, just giving him a heads up.
Just giving him a heads up.
If he wants to retreat, it has to be through the Nidus.
It's that was my bad. I didn't specify that.
Oh my fuck, Adam, you're so stupid. God damn it! You're so stupid.
God damn it!
Jesus, how many tries do you need?
That's pre-alpha. It's pre-alpha. I mean, if we just get to pull that card now forever, we're gonna be Blizzard. It's pre-alpha.
Yeah, that's why it's there.
Exactly.
I mean,
We can't possibly be bad because it's always pre-alpha.
It's pre-alpha. Say
it's
something.
Always pre-alpha.
Somebody else did that at E3. They did, instead of technical alpha, it was
alpha,
it was pre. No, it was pre. They did pre-alpha.
Oh, pre-alpha.
Yeah. There was like pre-alpha footage, and I was like, come on, guys, really gonna pull a Blizzard here?
Just call it Genesis. Jeez. We just had the idea yesterday, and we drew up some shit. Don't hate us.
There you go. Get hype.
Get hype. Technical alpha. Yeah,
that's the show. He tried to do something, realized there isn't a chance in tits. He's moving up that ramp with all those immortals.
There's no way.
Not a chance.
There's not a way. Even without the immortals, that wall was so friggin' heavy, it would have taken him forever to get through. The stalkers alone would have had a field day.
So I think at this point, Hype has a huge advantage because he can do whatever he wants now that he's gonna have he has +3 shields currently. At this point, if he wants to go and attack, if he wants to build carriers, if he wants to keep going this unit composition, there is no restraints against him whatsoever, but there is still a restraint for our man Unusual. He still has to attack and leave via public transportation.
Yes, exactly.
Which we just alluded sucks balls.
Yeah.
It's never a good time.
It's always bad.
He's going to have to need multiple Nidus networks all over this map. Just everywhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, which probably should have happened anyway.
It should have happened while his opponent was stuck in his base. Now
base.
It's going to be progressively harder to even get one Nidus out, let alone 4 or 5 of them.
It's going to make it a little bit difficult.
And he's only got this one Overlord up here. Nothing else on the map besides building hatcheries at this point.
And the scary thing is now with these two builds, really Unusual did have a window of opportunity there to do some good damage. Was just maybe he needed to place multiple down at the same time and chose which one didn't get destroyed, because at this point we're going to be looking at a 3-3 toss pretty soon.
Yeah.
Or a 3-3-3 toss.
And against a Zerg that's going roaches and lings.
3-3-3 toss against anything. I don't care what it's against.
Bad time.
God himself could come down and struggle versus a 3-3-3 toss. So
no, I'm going to go on a limb and say God would fail.
God himself can't even take out a 3-3-3 zealot.
No. No, he can't.
That's scary. That's scary. 3-3-3 Archon. That's
3-3-3
horrifying.
everything.
3-3-3 anything. You got 3-3-3 probe out there.
Just
fucking shit up.
Fucking everything up.
Fucking everything up.
All right, we are on a pause right now. We're gonna obviously let this pause in a tournament.
Yep. Maximum 2 minutes 45 seconds.
He's already ready, so we're ready to get into it. Let's go. That break brought to you by our technical alpha sponsor, LootCrate.com.
Yeah.
Go pick up your monthly Gamer Geek subscription. Use that promo code BOUS for 10% off. Shameless advertising. All right, here we go. So we're going to start moving down. Didn't get a cancel on that. Just the DPS is way too much. All roaches. Got a few Hydras back there. This Protoss, though, needs to watch it.
If he gets in an awkward position here where the Zerg can spread out, he's not a clear victor. He's got to be careful.
I wasn't a huge fan of that time warp. He really just needs to get off good force fields and keep the mothership core energy for a retreat.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, just
because
GTFO.
for some odd reason, if this army dies to this, or is about to die, he needs to retreat because he's going to have nothing back at base, right? So you don't want to use that energy, especially when you have so many sentries with so much energy. You can just use those to kind of keep your opponent at bay. And look, he just throws down another random time warp for the sake of throwing down a random time warp. Not a huge fan of that.
No, and it's not like it's in a place where it's actually going to do him a lot of good. Those are some pretty decent force fields.
Decent force fields, but the problem is he's not getting a whole lot of units out of it, and he's burning every ounce of energy that he has.
Yeah, if you're going to use force fields, choose, if he backed up a bit, choose a place where you don't have to use so damn many.
And you want to, it's not just about keeping your opponent back, it's about chunking them.
Yeah, you have
getting rid of,
split some up.
Yeah, getting rid of 8 or 9 roaches at a time is what you want. And now you got no energy, and here comes a concave.
Right.
And just like that, no energy on the mothership core, and just what I was talking about, he is in a really shitty situation. The Lings are focus firing on these Stalkers. The Stalkers' DPS is going on the Lings, the Roaches and Hydras in from behind. This was pretty much an auto win.
Dogs
for
with
Unusual
pets with dogs. This man has no penis.
He's got nothing, bro.
That's nothing.
Had to go into it there, and it's just it's a nightmare. It's just bad play. That's the only way I can put it. And I hate to shit on players. Actually, I like it. I really
don't lie.
My whole career's been,
don't lie.
your whole
career
yeah
has been pretty much based on
poking
shitting
fun
on players.
Yeah, but in a fun way, of course. I know we love.
You're fucking bad. G2A. Go buy some games.
That lap was brought to you by G2A.com. Use that promo code BUZZ for 3% off. Pre-order yourself the new Batman game and get it for 56% off using that promo code motherfucking BUZZ.
Oh shit.
Oh man. But yeah, that was pretty much as the nightmare was unfolding. I was pretty much calling out every possible bad thing that was going to happen, and lo and behold, I mean, we take a look at that Protoss army, and it was so unbeatable. You know what I mean? Dude is like 3 shields plus 1 weapons. He has got a mothership core with full energy. He has literally got about 25 force fields at his arsenal, and he decides to just throw them all.
Not one split.
No splits. I think he may have killed 2 lings.
Not one split.
And then he's left with no energy on his mothership core and his sentries and gets his shit pushed in. And now the Zerg can take an expansion. Obviously, he can't counterattack because he needs to do it via Nidus, but he can defend as much as he wants. And technically, if he keeps building bases and taking the map, he can get closer and closer to his base, really without even using a Nidus. Because he'd be defending his base at that point, technically.
Yeah, technically. The trick is, and the reason why I said at mineral patches, because if you're going to be brazen enough to put a frickin' hatchery here 3 feet outside of your opponent's base,
yeah,
go for it.
Go for it.
Just fucking go for it.
Have fun.
Have fun. I'm not gonna ream you for it. So, I'm still wondering why there are not just Niduses everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, he knows his opponent has the left side of the map pretty occupied. Just coat the right side of the map.
Pow. And then whenever he tried to go over there, just put them all in there and just defend it, right?
Just go.
Creep your way up there. He needs to be active here. And yes, he just got a really big attack, a big defend. Unfortunately, he can't just go counter and do serious damage. No. So he has to start playing a little bit more strategically. It isn't just going to be all about defending, because is the Protoss really going to throw that many units away again and make the exact same mistake? I hope not. I mean, hopefully he learned from that to not blow all of your energy on nothing and get nothing from it. So what are the chances of him doing that again? Because the next time Protoss comes down here, hopefully it's going to be with some Colossus or some Storm, which I see both in production.
Yes, both are being produced right now.
You ain't going to win the next fight. I'm sorry.
No.
It's just not going to happen. So,
well, we've got 3-3 en route. We have Storm coming. We have Giraffes coming. It's going to be a rough time for the Zerg.
Mm-hmm. All the way bad.
Everything is going to hurt.
All the way bad.
There's going to be a point in which it doesn't matter how many crappy force fields. It's all going to hurt.
So it's like after that defend, he really needed to start taking this Overlord and just start doing something, or having some Overseers and just start putting down.
Those should probably be warp gates at this point. Might be useful.
A little bit.
I mean, some people like to be old school and hipsterish, but personally, I like the future.
Future's nice.
I like technology. It helps. But, you know, fuck it. Why bother?
It's no point.
There's no hype in having all warp gates.
Half and half, man. Sometimes you gotta, StarCraft 2 sometimes is such a bad reminder on how shitty the game got that sometimes you just need a piece of Brood War.
Yeah.
Just a piece of it. I think there's a little something.
There's a little something.
Maybe just one gate. You don't need 5 of them.
5
normal.
is a bit aggressive.
You don't need 5 normal gates.
That's no longer like paying homage. That's just being stupid.
Ay. Fuck her right in the pussy. Alright, well, here we go. Some Zealots coming down here doing absolutely nothing. And this is a huge army. Both players going to be like 200 here. These games are going extra long, both of them.
Why not?
This game isn't too bad.
This game has a reason to go on a little longer than the last one.
Yeah.
The last one had absolutely no reason to go on.
There was no reason.
No, there was no reason.
Well, he is loading up some Nidus. Here comes a drop. We've got one of them here, and look at that. He's using his Changeling to get the division. Question is he going to see it? That's a lot of Colossus and a lot of energy. Once again, question is,
will he use the energy?
Will he use the energy? Because believe it or not, the Zerg can still beat this army if the positioning is bad.
Actually, I'm not even going to say believe it or not. That army, as big as it is, the Zerg has a very large army.
It's a large army, but with good force fields. I mean, your army is only as big as you allow it to be against your army. You know what I mean? Like,
I actually don't know what you mean, so you're going to have to elaborate on that.
Fuck right off. it's only as big as you allow it to be up front. So
it's like a penis.
Yeah. So okay, think about it. You could have a 200 army, right, outside of this ramp.
Right.
But if you're only gonna let up 15 supply at a time,
too much whiskey.
Exactly. You're gonna have limp dick. You're not gonna be able to do anything with it. You're gonna be like, look, it looks big, but I ain't doing a whole lot with it. It's a little bit bigger than a softie, but it's not quite as big as a heart.
I need a couple of popsicle sticks and a rubber band.
Give me a popsicle stick and a rubber band. We'll call her a day. All right. Give me an elastic and some saran wrap. Let's go. All right. Wrap it up, boys.
Wrap that up.
All right. Here we go. We've got an attack coming down here. We got a defense.
God, that's a lot of units.
This is scary. And he's got high temps in there too. I didn't even see those.
There's high temps. There's drafts. There's just this. Whatever. If this battle happens on creep, it's going to be pretty epic. Unless it's at a choke point. And
well, it's happening on creep. It's happening on creep whether you want it to or not. And here comes the army. The question is,
this is gonna be anticlimactic.
Will he shit the bed with the force fields yet again? These Colossus are smoking some asses right now. I think there's like 5 of these bad boys, and they're just gonna be toasting their way to victory. Overlord's going down, about 8 of them right there. Salty about that. May as well just go and kill this expansion while he's at it, or he could just go down here, and this is a perfect choke for Protoss. Throw up the force. All right, we're just gonna storm. Oh god, those storms. Oh god, those storms hurt.
God.
Oh rip. Oh.
Barbecue.
Oh rip.
Oh my.
Oh rip.
God.
Didn't even, not a single Guardian Shield or Force Field was thrown that day.
Just fuck it.
Zerg was like, yes, I got him. He didn't put up his force. Oh.
Stormed everything.
Sour.
Holy shit balls. That was the fastest destruction of a 200 army I think I've ever witnessed.
It was quick.
That went down. I mean, that was like nuclear drop fast.
It was quick.
That was...
Still don't understand these, but hey.
Hey, you know...
It's whatever. That's a manner time warp.
Sometimes... You just gotta do things to make it feel like you're doing things.
And once again, unusual. Losing a game, but just saying, you know what, I'm not ready to leave yet.
No.
I'm on LAGTV, and I'm gonna soak up this moment.
I'm gonna go around the map and kill
as long as
every
possible.
Inconsequential building, every larva.
Hype just needs to go in there and kill this guy.
Yeah.
And you know what? This isn't... I gave the prediction to Hype. I think Hype is a little bit just a better of a player, period. Yeah. Even though he made the dumbest play near on the first engagement, but Unusual just was not aggressive with his Nidus at all, ever. It was kind of sad to watch because he had opportunities to possibly win the game, specifically after that huge throw that Hype did, and he didn't do anything with it. He just allowed his opponent to max out and this time get Colossus and High Templar and storm his way to victory. So really, that's on Unusual, and not so much the build orders here, because I think this was a beautifully matched up NovaWar says.
Yeah, it was great.
And it boiled down to the better player wins.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, even with the mistake there, like you said, unfortunately, just Unusual didn't really take any of the opportunities that were presented to him.
Mm-hmm. No.
And that's going to make life a little difficult.
Yes, sir. And here comes what seems to be the final attack. This would be a time for a time warp.
No,
just more storms.
Just storms. At this point, just storm everything, roast it, nuke it,
whew,
powder it up, and snort it. Ladies and gentlemen,
that is it. It looks like Hype will be going on to the next round, which will be the round of 4, which is the semifinals. We'll be in the semifinals already. Yes. We could be giving you guys another game before we get into the semifinals.
Depending on how fast things are going.
Yeah, because the other series may or may not be finished. It may not have been a sweep. Yes. So if not, then we'll jump into another game before we get into the semifinals. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're watching this on Twitch, hit that follow button. Please go check out our sponsors underneath this video and on the stream. Enter into the JORD Woodwatch giveaways and go spend all of the monies on G2A and hook yourself up with a LootCrate subscription using those promo code BOUS, guys. 10, 5, and 3% off. Thank you so much to our sponsors, and you guys watching at home. We'll be back right after this.